The Cape Girardeau Republican Newspaper 10th Anniversary Edition, 1904 to 1914. Joe McElroy, the electrician, is a native of the Buckeye State, having been born at Massillon, Ohio, July 4, 1875. On account of the excitement and noise caused by the celebration of his birthday, it happening to be also the nation's birthday, Joe, at an early age, developed a liking for a life that would sparkle and illuminate. For this reason, he naturally drifted into the electrical business. Mr. McElroy's parents were William and Elizabeth McElroy. August 4, 1898, he married Miss Mary D. Penny, and they have 3 boys, Lloyd, Elmo, and Francis. Mr. McElroy is a Democrat and is a member of the Woodmen of the World. After finishing his school days in the public schools of his native town, he went to Cleveland, Ohio, and started to serve his time as an electrician. He then began a tour of the country, following his calling in nearly all of the large cities of America. In 1898, he came to Cape Girardeau to settle down and opened up in the electrical business. Being a pioneer electrician in southeast Missouri, Mr. McElroy does work all over the district, even going into Arkansas to fill his contracts. He carries the most complete stock of electrical goods to be found in southeast Missouri. Among his larger contracts have been the State Normal School and the new St. Francis Hospital, in which buildings he installed the electric lighting systems. Mr. McElroy is public-spirited and is always ready to aid any scheme for bettering conditions in his hometown. Cape Girardeau, Democrat, May 20th, 1905. J. McElroy has the contract to put up all material and furnish all the lights necessary for the illumination of the city during the drummers' meeting. The streets that will be illuminated with the finest of Japanese lanterns are as follows, starting at Spanish and Independence to Main, north on Main to Broadway, west on Broadway to Sprigg, south on Sprigg to Good Hope, east on Good Hope to Spanish, and north on Spanish to Independence. The courthouse is to be decorated profusely. Southeastern Missourian, June 6, 1906. The McElroy Stratham Electric Company is moving into its new building on Themis Street, a few doors west of Sturdivant Bank. It should be in operation in a few days, with a big line of supplies on display. Southeastern Missourian, February 12, 1907. The Salvation Army has opened headquarters in the hall above McElroy Electric on Themis Street, across from the St. Charles Hotel in Cape Girardeau. Southeastern Missourian. November 23, 1934, Joe McElroy began moving his shop from Themis Street, opposite the Elks Building, to the building opposite the Hawks. Southeastern Missourian, November 29, 1909. Joe McElroy, the electrician, is elated over securing the contract for supplying the electric and gas fixtures for the new federal building. All the fixtures will be for gas and electricity combined. Uncle Sam never buys anything but the best. Southeastern Missourian, August 25, 1910. Killed by electricity late last Friday evening. Otto Hitt of Cape Girardeau electrocuted himself by cutting a live electric light wire. He and another man by the name of Litterer were disconnecting some wires, and after young Hitt had cut the 3rd wire from the pole, it fell to the grass and began writhing. The boys held a consultation, and Litterer started to the office for instructions, while Hitt remained to warn the public. Litterer was but a few yards away when Hitt took hold the wire, which instantly knocked him down and killed him. Litterer called for help, and with a hoe they got the burning wire from about his body. The wire was charged with 2,300 volts. The coroner jury returned a verdict of it being accidental and lack of experience with outside wiring. Hitt had been working for the McElroy Electric Company for about 18 months. Otto was 19 years of age and had many friends in this city. He was the son of Mrs. M.A. Hitt, who has resided in this county for a number of years. The funeral took place Monday morning at the Cape Cemetery. His sister, Miss Maud Hitt, who was visiting relatives in Aubrey, Texas, arrived home late Sunday evening. Weekly Tribune, June 19, 1914. Boy has narrow escape on bicycle. Elmo McElroy, the 12-year-old son of Mr. McElroy, the electrician on Broadway, had a narrow escape Friday morning when, on coming down Independence Street, he lost control of his wheel and, in trying to make the turn up Spanish, ran with tremendous force into the curb, throwing the lad and rendering him unconscious for a short time. When he came to, the little fellow mounted his bicycle and started for his home, apparently none the worse for the accident. Cape County Herald, July 19, 1912. Fan motors overhauled. Keep cool this summer by using an electrical fan. It's nonsense for anyone to say that they can keep cool without one. We carry a line of electrical fans which are moderately priced, and they will last for years. We make a specialty of putting in fans, telephones, bells, annunciators, burglar alarms, etc. Get our figures. McElroy Electrical Company, phone number 498. The Southeastern Missourian, March 20th, 1920, page 3. Dynamite found lying in alley by passing boy. It was water-soaked and had long fuse attached while passing through the park, way between the Park Theater and the Missourian office Friday noon, after Francis McElroy, son of Joe McElroy, found a stick with a long fuse of dynamite attached lying near the sidewalk. The stick of dynamite was partly covered with earth and was water-soaked, showing that it had been buried and that the loose dirt over it had been washed by the recent rains. Southeastern Missourian, September 20th, 1934. Cowbell quiets colony of bees on Cape Street. Using a cowbell to quiet the nerves of a colony of honeybees, Joe McElroy, who has an electric shop on Lower Broadway, late Wednesday coaxed the bees into a hive. When McElroy first started tapping the bell, the bees moved into the hive, but soon came out again. They had settled on a branch of a tree on the north side of Broadway, near Spanish Street. Later, however, evidently after the Queen was satisfied with her new home, they filed in. McElroy had 2 colonies before, but both left this spring to seek new domiciles. Southeastern Missourian, February 1st, 1935. Electricians to plan for own organization. A meeting of electrical contractors in Cape Girardeau will be held Saturday night in the shop of the McElroy Electric Co. to perfect organization of the Electrical Contractors Association of Cape Girardeau. The purpose of the organization. According to Joe McElroy, who was named temporary chairman at a preliminary meeting Wednesday, is to cooperate with the General Contractors Association and to effect uniform prices for electrical work and bring about better relations between electrical contractors and subcontractors. It is planned to hold 1 meeting each week, but no date for the meetings has been selected. Firms represented at the First Electric Co. and Rado Nabel Electric Co., Parr Electric Co., Hill Electric Co., and Reed Nabel Electrical Service. The Southeastern Missourian, February 13th, 1935. Mrs. Joe McElroy, 916 North Fountain Street, who has been ill 2 weeks with influenza by pneumonia, is reported improved today. The Southeastern Missourian, January 13th, 1937. Killed a 20-pound turkey owned by Francis McElroy, 916 North Fountain Street, was killed by a dog or dogs the other night. The turkey, which had been fed for 2 months and was fat, was dug out of a coop by the dogs. It was chewed up and partly eaten, and the remainder of the turkey left in the yard. McElroy said today it would not be pleasant for stray dogs seen at the place hereafter. He is a son of Mr. and Mrs. Joe McElroy of the same address. Joe McElroy, 916 North Fountain Street, who has been seriously ill at St. Francis Hospital since Sunday with a stomach and intestinal disorder, was able to sit up some today. He continued to improve today and remarked to visitors that he was feeling better. Mr. McElroy is one of the first men here to establish an electrical repair business. The Southeastern Missourian, June 17, 1949. Frog Joe McElroy, 1469 Ozark Street, is the possessor of a horned frog, found this week by his neighbor Robert Lambert while hoeing in his garden. Mr. McElroy said he supposes the frog got so far away from its natural habitat through a neighbor who came from Texas, but moved about a year ago. The frog is about as large as a medium-sized toad and is being housed in a tin can. Southeastern Missourian, June 28, 1932. Relatives and friends were entertained by Mr. and Mrs. Joe McElroy, 916 North Fountain Street, at dinner and supper Sunday. The guests included W.B. Penny, Mr. and Mrs. Richard Cobble, and 4 children of Daisy, Mrs. Mildred Graham and son, Jerry Lee, Mr. and Mrs. Elmo McElroy, and son, Billy Joe, and Roland Dante, St. Louis, Miss Albertine Loftel, Francis and Alma McElroy, and Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd McElroy, and children, Mary and Junior. Southeastern Missourian, January 14, 1944. Collision a Dodge truck driven by John Young, 726 Rear South Giboney Street, and an Oldsmobile car driven by Joe McElroy, 916 North Fountain Street, collided in the 100 block of South Spanish Street, Thursday. A bumper of the truck and both the front and rear bumpers of the McElroy car were damaged, according to a police report made by Chief E.M. F. Morton.